Now, I will be willing to bet that most of you would agree that although astrology may be an interesting topic, it is not the most exciting topic to talk about. So guess what? We won't be talking about the stars, the moons, the sun, the planetary alignment, the cosmos. So the goal of this video is to break astrology down into its usable components for everyday life. Now, this content is not meant for everyone, and this video will tell you why. And just so you're aware, the vision for this channel is to share simplified knowledge related to a range of topics, from self-development to health, finance, leadership, and a range of other dynamics of life that may be challenging to make valuable sense of. Life is truly much more fulfilling when you have the right perspective. This video will be breaking down astrology, extracting key information, reviewing a book that I found highly valuable, talking about what sets this book apart, examples of how I've leveraged the material, the dangers of ignorance, and a key message. Now, these simplified components would be how I would break down astrology from my personal understanding. What I'm looking to focus on in this video is man's search for meaning and composition of data. Given centuries of collecting data around astrology, this is another attempt of mine to simplify the type of data that has been collected. Classifications of people, character traits of people, connections to nature, connections to all living things. But what are we really interested in understanding? What information can we use today? I mean, we are more focused on character traits of people. When I think about all of the in-depth studies that mankind has pursued, it seems like we have left no stone unturned. I mean, there are comprehensive, readily available books and videos on just about everything. But when I think about an in-depth study of people's character, it's almost like looking for a needle in a haystack. I'm sure that it's much easier to draw definitive conclusions about things that we can't communicate with. So when talking about defining the character traits of people we interact with regularly, I'm sure it would be highly controversial. So if that's true, it makes sense to keep this type of data hidden under the umbrella of astrology, where astrology can easily be dismissed at will since it mostly ties to the study of celestial bodies. The Golden Book. Came across this book while on vacation out in San Diego, California. While at the Johnston & Murphy shoe store at some outlet mall in San Diego, I got to talking to the sales manager. We were talking about random aspects of life in which she referenced this book. She was very adamant about it to where, it convinced me to just go out and get a copy so I can read it for myself. So what better way to test the accuracy of these character readings than to use myself as the subject? So when I came across this one character reading, it blew my mind. So I had to do one more test. And the test I chose to do was my brother. Now we are 4 years apart and 4 days apart, both Capricorns. And when I came across his character reading, this is when this book was established, the Golden Book. I mean, this book is so comprehensive, I don't need to read anything else. Let's dive into some character traits. Now here's a handful, just a handful of character assessments associated with me. Now, as you can see, these are quotes from the book, but I'm going to put these all in my own words. So as you read through the quotes, listen to how I would articulate them if you were talking directly to me. I don't like being considered average. I learn fast and always look for ways to raise the bar. I like to leverage my creative nature to stand out from the crowd. Rigid and excessive templates make me uncomfortable. My motives relate to self-respect. I can't look myself in the mirror if the quality of anything I do sucks. I intentionally seek to be as rational as possible, so I suppress speaking with an emotional justification. This ties to me being viewed as if I don't care about others' feelings. I have many lifelong friends that I can attest to. We may not talk regularly, but when we connect, we carry on as if time apart is negligible. If I'm ever intentionally disrespected, I can tune that person out as if they never existed almost immediately. And it's very hard to regain my respect after that happens. And I'm constantly looking for ways to better myself and those around me. And as you can imagine, I started to look for character readings of all those close to me and actually succeeded in finding everyone I turned my attention to. Just to touch on my brother, this one character trait spoke volumes. We had recently been getting into altercations that primarily came back to this root cause. It was always observed by myself and others that my brother was notorious for cutting people off mid-sentence. But there came a time to where I wasn't having it, and attempted to force my thoughts on him only to aggravate him to the point of physical confrontation. This occurred on multiple different occasions. This gave me a better understanding about the yin and yang balance system that we all have. Anything out of balance can be highly destructive. I've also leveraged these character readings to better understand work colleagues. As a supervisor, this was monumental in establishing genuine connections with my direct reports. As a leader, this information is almost a cheat sheet for building a high-performing team if you know what key character attributes align with a certain business objective. So, the dangers of ignorance. As an example of the importance of truly understanding who people are down to their core when they come into this world, I've come across 2 character readings of family members that could be misinterpreted as a mental problem. The first is my cousin. As we hung out more and more in our adult life, I observed, as others did, that he would always seek to know what others thought about him. Always asking, is somebody mad at me? What did such and such say about me? I mean, he asked these questions enough to where everyone around him had a consensus that he was paranoid. The next example is my daughter. The amount of energy she has to just keep engaging in physical activities is amazing. But after reading this character reading, it dawned on me that this character trait could easily be misinterpreted, especially in an academic environment, as attention deficit disorder. So the dangers of ignorance to these studies is people being misdiagnosed as if they have a problem that needs to be corrected. This could easily nudge people into prescription drugs, as my cousin did eventually seek out. For the key message, try to leverage the part of astrology that can help better your everyday life. Seek out the parts of the study that would help you understand who you are and who those are in your closest circle. Given this digital age of social media, I guarantee that if you are ignorant to this information, someone else will come along and almost surely misdiagnose your character or a loved one. And that could lead to irreparable mental trauma. We are all unique and special in maybe 144 different ways. We should all try to understand and celebrate everyone's uniqueness. So here's some reasons for the disclaimer and some keynotes if you do decide to pick up the new astrology, aka the Golden Book. If you enjoyed this content, please check out the video on how to develop your innate gifts. Knowledge is power.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.